Why you should invest in climate-friendly companies now. Hello and welcome to today's video. Climate change is one of the most pressing issues of our time, and businesses have an important role to play in combating it. One way to do this is by building carbon-neutral businesses. In this video, we'll explain what carbon-neutral companies are, what criteria they must meet, and examples of them. You will also learn if investing in climate-friendly or climate-neutral companies is worth it. Climate-friendly companies are companies that take steps to reduce their CO2 emissions and minimize their environmental impact. This can be achieved by using renewable energy, improving energy efficiency, reducing waste, and using environmentally friendly products. Some climate-friendly companies have even set targets to achieve net zero emissions. However, if one defines a climate-neutral company, CO2 emissions must be reduced to zero. If a company still produces emissions and thus does not reach zero, it can be offset by investing in projects that compensate for the CO2 emissions. Such projects include reforestation, renewable energy development, or an area with high biodiversity. If you like this video, we appreciate a thumbs up and that you subscribe to our channel. Companies are climate-friendly or neutral if they meet some criteria. The main criterion is to record and meet CO2 emission guidelines. Furthermore, companies first create an emission reduction plan, which has the goal that the company is emission neutral. CO2 reduction projects are also singled out and used to compensate. Thorough reporting and transparency on progress. A company achieves climate friendliness. Investing in climate-friendly companies can make sense, as demand for environmentally friendly products and services is likely to increase in the future. This is due to increasing pressure from governments, investors, and consumers to address climate change. Some experts expect companies specializing in renewable energy, energy efficiency, and sustainable technologies to generate above-average profits in the future. However, there are risks to investing in climate-friendly companies. For example, political decisions or changes in the economy can affect the financing of renewable energy projects. Therefore, it is important to carefully consider a company's financial position and industry outlook before investing in it. There are other ways you can get involved in climate-friendly investments, such as investing in funds that invest in climate-friendly companies and projects, or using financial instruments that allow you to invest directly in renewable energy projects. Examples of climate-neutral or climate-friendly companies include 1. Patagonia, an outdoor clothing manufacturer that has been carbon neutral since 2011. Patagonia is committed to renewable energy and has had 100% renewable energy in all of its manufacturing facilities and office buildings since 2016. The company has improved its energy efficiency by investing in energy-efficient technologies and equipment. Patagonia places a high value on sustainable products. The company supports initiatives that help reduce greenhouse gas emissions and projects that help preserve the environment. In addition, Patagonia offers a wide range of sustainable alternatives for its customers that contribute to a more sustainable life, such as repair and replacement programs and recycling programs. 2. IKEA. The furniture company has set itself the goal of being climate neutral by 2030. IKEA invests in renewable energies, such as solar and wind power, to secure its own energy supply. The company is constantly improving energy efficiency in its stores and supply chains. IKEA is focusing on more climate-friendly logistics by using alternative drives, such as electric vehicles, and optimizing delivery routes. IKEA places a high value on sustainable products and is committed to using renewable and recyclable materials. The company invests in climate-friendly projects and supports initiatives that help reduce greenhouse gas emissions. IKEA has also launched an initiative to reduce the CO2 emissions of its customers by offering them products and services that contribute to a more sustainable life, such as LED lamps, solar charging stations, and electric mobility. 3. Google. The company has set a goal to be carbon neutral by 2020. Google is investing in renewable energy such as solar and wind power, and recently announced that it will use 100% renewable energy by 2025. The company is constantly improving energy efficiency in its office buildings and data centers. Google is focusing on more climate-friendly logistics by relying on alternative drives, such as electric vehicles, and optimizing delivery routes. Furthermore, Google offers services that contribute to a more sustainable life, such as Google Street View, Google Maps, and Google Earth, which allow to assess and plan the environmental impacts of projects. 4. Allbirds. This footwear brand is committed to sustainable production methods, including the use of natural materials and offsetting CO2 emissions. Allbirds has started a recycling program where customers return old shoes and they are made into new shoes. The company uses sustainable materials such as merino wool and sugarcane in the production of its shoes, which are naturally degradable and have a lower environmental impact. The Allbirds company excels at transparency and is open about its sustainability goals and measures, reporting regularly on progress. Allbirds works closely with partners to develop and implement sustainable solutions. 5. BMW. The automotive brand aims to be carbon neutral by 2020 and is committed to renewable energy and energy efficiency. If you're wondering now how an automaker can become a carbon neutral company, you've been wondering the same thing we have. An automaker can be carbon neutral by taking a combination of steps to reduce its CO2 emissions while offsetting greenhouse gas emissions. Some options include: BMW has launched a wide range of electric vehicles and plug-in hybrids, and continues to develop electromobility to reduce emissions on the road. This reduces dependence on fossil fuels and the associated CO2 emissions. BMW is also working to develop products that are lighter and therefore require less energy to manufacture and transport. Use of renewable energy in production. The company can meet its energy needs from renewable sources such as solar or wind energy to reduce CO2 emissions. Investing in carbon capture technologies. Companies can invest in projects that aim to remove CO2 from the atmosphere, thereby offsetting their own emissions. Offsetting. Companies can also offset their emissions by purchasing credits from emission reduction projects, such as reforestation or renewable energy. Increasing efficiency. By optimizing production processes and logistics, as well as vehicle maintenance, an automaker can reduce its emissions. It is important to note that 100% climate-neutral production is difficult for car manufacturers, as the production as well as the use of the vehicle causes emissions. However, a company can strive to minimize and offset its emissions, which is sustainable and will certainly be necessary in the coming years and decades. Climate neutral or climate friendly production will certainly become politically necessary in the coming years. What is exciting for us, of course, is investing in climate-friendly or climate-neutral companies. There are several ways to invest in shares of climate-friendly companies. Some examples are low-carbon equity funds. These funds invest in companies that have low carbon emissions or are in industries related to renewable energy or energy efficiency. ESG stock funds. ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance. and these funds invest in companies that meet high standards in these areas. Renewable energy company stocks. These stocks belong to companies that invest in renewable energy such as solar power, wind power, or hydroelectric power. Shares of companies that invest in climate change projects. These companies invest in projects that help reduce greenhouse emissions, such as reforestation, energy efficiency, renewable energy, and carbon capture. You can pay attention to various criteria within the investment. The more and better the criteria are met, the more climate-friendly a company is. Renewable energies. Investments in companies that produce renewable energies, such as solar, wind, or hydroelectric power. Energy efficiency. Investments in companies that offer technologies or services that improve the energy efficiency of buildings or industrial processes. Climate research and technology. Investments in companies that work to develop technologies that help reduce emissions or combat climate change. Sustainable agriculture. Investments in companies that use sustainable agricultural practices that reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Climate funds. Investments in funds that focus on companies and projects that help reduce greenhouse gas emissions and adapt to climate change. Climate neutral businesses are an important solution in the fight against climate change. It is important to emphasize that every company has a responsibility to contribute to climate protection, and that investors and consumers should adjust their decisions accordingly. By using renewable energy, improving energy efficiency, reducing waste, and investing in CO2 reduction projects, they can help reduce their CO2 emissions to zero. Companies like Patagonia, IKEA, and Google show that it is possible to be carbon neutral and that it pays to work in this direction. We hope that more and more companies will follow this example in the future. What is clear is that climate neutral companies must and will become more and more popular in the future, and that investing now can make sense. That was today's video about climate neutral companies. Are you already investing in climate friendly or climate neutral companies? Thanks for watching.